Hey guys, it's Ryan Chua. We're going to be trying something new today. I'm starting a show called The Degenerate Diaries. And basically, I want the concept of the show to be times where we were horribly irresponsible with our money. It either worked out or it didn't, and maybe any lessons learned. So, anyways, I felt like there was a need for this show because there isn't really anything out there that really focuses on this, and I have quite a few stories on my own. I have a few friends with a few stories, and I'm sure you guys have some stories too. So I'm gonna kick things off and start with one of my own stories. Uh, in 2014, I won a tournament, my first, big tournament score. It was for $10,000. I really felt like I was, I was on top of the world. I was the king of poker. No one could touch me. I had friends, family, just everyone supporting me and like recognizing my poker skill, and I really just felt like I was just like king shit of fuck mountain. I don't know. So it's that's in December 2014, and I decide, when I win that 10K, maybe like a week or two after, I'm like, you know what? This is destiny. The World Series of Poker main event buy-in is also 10K, and I'm just gonna buy in the following year and just win this thing, right? So, so yeah, I was like, I'm gonna play the main event, 2015. Get ready for me. Uh, yeah, so there's about like a 6 or 7 month gap in between there. And in that 6 or 7 months, I was practicing. And by practicing, I mean playing like the, these little like $20 bar poker tournaments where, you know, uh, the the skill level of the player there, they're recreational players. They're there to have a drink, have some fun, and it's not quite up to the standard of like the most prestigious poker tournament in the world. Let's just put it that way. So I'm doing well in those. I'm taking home like wherever like $200 nightly prizes the nights I play, and fast forward to July. It's the World Series of Poker main event time. I got my dad with me, I got my brother, and I got my girlfriend who is now my wife, and we get there like 3 days before the main event, and I just remember, buying handing a cashier $10,000 and having my ticket, and going on social media and doing my little thing, like posting pictures of the ticket, saying it's my time, and bragging and just having these like really childish like delusions of grandeur, dreaming of like winning the main event. Yeah, and uh, I got to buy my ticket. I got to walk into the Rio. Got to walk into the big convention room that they have set up for us, and it's quite an experience walking into that room for the first time. I mean, it's just this giant room, and it's all poker tables, and all you can hear are chips riffling. It's crazy. I mean, I've been to the World Series every year since then, and it's kind of lost its allure. But like, I'll never forget that first time I walked into that room and saw that many poker tables. I was like, I'm here, I'm ready, I'm gonna show these people what I'm made of, and yeah. So now let's go to actually playing the main event. So I played day 1C, take my seat, sit down, and I don't recognize any pros at my table or anything. No one notable. And I'm like, all right, I'm here. I'm gonna do it. And the format of the World Series is you play for 2 hours, you get a 20-minute break. You play for 2 hours, you get another 20-minute break, and this repeats like 5 times. You get a 90-minute dinner break, like after playing for 6 hours, and it's a pretty long day. But anyways, that first 2 hours, I remember I was like, you know what, this isn't like so bad. I'm like, doing all right. And I remember the first break. I was like, the first main event break I took is just, it's a nightmare taking a break during the main event because it's like 6,000 people, right? All playing poker for 2 hours, right? What happens after 2 hours? Everyone needs to go to the restroom. So you literally spend 15 minutes in the restroom line um, of that 20-minute break. So it's not really a break. It's just like, oh, okay, everyone needs to go to the bathroom. Let's all just go to the bathroom and come back and play, right? So we do that. Second 2 hours, this is kind of when, for me, reality kind of starts to sink in, right? I'm sitting at the table, and one thing I've always been good at in my poker career has been assessing skill levels. And I didn't know why these players were better than me, but I knew that they were better than me. It wasn't a confidence thing. It was more of a, these, I can tell these people have studied for a long time. They've been playing for longer than I have. So naturally, they would be better than I am, right? So I really just, that feeling kind of started to sink in, and I'm like, wow, this table's not gonna go well for me. I don't think. And yeah, I started kind of getting down and out. I take that second 20-minute break, come back, play the third 2 hour level of the day, and I'm just getting more and more kind of distraught of like, I'm really not gonna win this thing, am I? And the one other recreational player at the table, I remember at the time, he was sitting to my left. He was a real nice guy. He kind of we start talking, and he can tell it's my first time. I'm kind of like in the dumps of like just the reality of like I'm never gonna make it through this field of 7,000 players, and he's just like, "Hey man, like on dinner break, I got a diamond card, which is Rio's like top tier card. We can go just like skip the line at any restaurant, just go straight in, sit down and eat. You want to go like eat something?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." So we go on dinner break. We get to skip the restaurant line, which was great, and we kind of exchange stories. And he's like, "Hey man, I've been seeing how you're playing. You're playing well. You're just like, you're not getting the cards or whatever." And he's just being really nice, and like I definitely appreciated it. I definitely needed it at the time, but it wasn't gonna change my fate. So we come back from dinner break, and I think I busted. No, I didn't bust that level. I played another 2 hours, got another 20-minute break, and I busted an hour before we were supposed to go home. I remember that because beers started coming out. There's like a main event tradition where everyone has kind of a drink the last hour of play for the day. And I remember the beers were coming out, and I was just walking out of the Rio, just completely depressed. I kind of think of the movie Rudy when I think back to the story. Like winning winning that 10K is like me being told, hey, like you're gonna be on the roster for this game. Like, yay! I'm probably not gonna get to play, and then like I get to Vegas. I'm like, wow, I'm actually gonna get to play this. This is crazy. And then like Rudy comes in. It's like the biggest scene in the movie. He comes in and he gets the sack, and like his teammates lift him up. Except for me, it was like they're like, "Hey, Ryan, go into the game," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And then I just get like flattened by this like 350-pound lineman, And instead of my teammates carrying me out, it's just silence in the stadium, people on one knee, and I get brought out in like a stretcher with like a neck brace. Yeah, so yeah, it was a good lesson though. It really humbled me a lot. To go from like that high of winning a big poker tournament where people were actually watching me play to kind of just being nobody, and knowing that like I can't even beat this table of like mid stakes pros. Like what am I doing here? So it really got me motivated into studying and playing a lot more. And yeah, like it. Every time I get tired or like don't want to study, I think back to that moment of like if you really want to do this, like you have to get in the lab, and you don't want to ever feel like that again. So yeah, that's my story. The summer, I a pretty terrible person to be around. So I'm after I busted the main event. So sorry to my dad and my brother and my wife. That was not very. I was not a very pleasant person. I did get to play a Venetian tournament a couple days after. It's a 1500. I got some of my confidence back because I ended up min cashing it for like I made like $700 or something. So like I was like, oh, at least I like know a little bit about tournaments. I'm not a complete fish out here, but yeah, yeah. So that's my story. If you have a story that you would like to share with me, just go down here, email it. I don't know where the point of reference is, but degeneratediaries@gmail.com. And yeah, just give me your name, contact, and just a very quick like sentence or two of what your story is gonna be about. I really want to hear your story live, and experience it live with you. So, yeah, if you've got a story, I'd love to hear it. I definitely hope to have some of my friends on, maybe some people I don't know on, to share their stories. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. This is the first episode. I don't think it'll be the last one though. And yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for watching.